Turned the car on. I was like, okay, let's go.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So in that moment, the doctor actually told me you have two choices.
Mm-hmm.
You probably didn't hear it, but I was listening
Mm-hmm.
to what he was saying. And he said in that moment you have two choices. The surgeon is not in tonight because at this point it was like midnight. He was like, the surgeon is not in tonight. He doesn't come in for like another 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But we can definitely work you in, or we can release you, but you have to come back in 6 days
Mm-hmm.
in order to have this surgery. And the first thing that came to my mind is number one, we're gonna go with 6 days. Reason being is because God can do so much in 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I expected for him to move in those 6 days. The second thing was, how dare you go in the surgery and not give your mama time to come up here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that's not um even an option,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So while you went to go get the car and everything, we you came back and you got me from the emergency room. I remember laying in the back seat because I was just tired and drained at this point. Um, and in laying in the back seat, I called. Plus, I couldn't sit up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be
Mm-hmm.
honest. With everything that I was experiencing with the neuropathy and the arthritis and the rashes and everything else and all of the pain, I couldn't sit up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I remember calling mom
Mm-hmm.
and I told her.
Mm-hmm.
I woke her up to tell her, and she was like, "Okay, all right," and she kind of went back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Then I called dad. For some reason, he was already up,
Mm-hmm.
just like he always is
Yeah,
up. He just be
he's
up.
gonna be up
He
late.
gonna be up.
Yeah.
So he was up, and I told him, and he was like, "Okay, all right, gotcha. Okay." Mom called back
Mm-hmm.
and was like, "Wait, what you just called and told me?"
Mm-hmm.
So I told her again, and straight, "Hey, look, this is what's happening. Doctor found a mass, said that it needs to be removed. This mass that they found, he said typically it is 99.9% malignant,
Mm-hmm.
meaning cancerous. And however, 99.9% of the time when they remove it, they've gotten it all,
Mm-hmm.
that it has not spread it."
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is what the doctor is telling me. Like, okay, cool, cool, cool. So I go to sleep. We get back to my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I go to sleep. I don't wake up until the next morning. But I'm waking up by our little brother,
Mm-hmm.
also called Triple B,
Mm-hmm.
by our baby brother. He calls me and he says, "So is dad gonna be up there with you until you have the surgery?" And I'm like, huh? And he's just like, "Yeah, is dad gonna be up there with you until you have the surgery?" And I said, I don't even know. And the beauty of that is by the time I had woken up, you had coordinated all travel plans, all pickups, flights were already booked. And when I say booked, I mean they were coming in the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what was that like, having to coordinate something of that magnitude in that moment?
It felt like a travel agent. Um, that happened very quickly, and ironically, they had been scheduled for their shots,
Right.
so they got them shortly after.
Mhm.
Um, actually, let me not say after, shortly before
Right.
they got the phone call,
Mhm.
right? So they were, you know, in a in a place where they could.
Right.
I felt safe to say, "Could y'all get on a plane and come
Right.
on through?" Um, and actually, I didn't have to ask. I didn't have to say it. They just said, "We're coming." I remember
Mhm.
Dad was like, I'm not going to be there." He said something of that nature. I was like, yeah, because I was more or less telling them, I got it. I got it. It's all good. It's all good. And I was telling them throughout that entire process, right?
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, I got it. You don't have to. I got it. We good. We good. I got this. Gerard, I got this. Big brother to the rescue. Yeah, and they came on through without asking, without a question. Um, and I was like, okay, well, these are the parents doing what parents do,
Right.
and they did what they needed to do respectively
Right.
and came on through. Um, and their units, their friends, family members that are closer with them geographically, they were able to help them,
And support them.
yeah, get to a point so that they can come up
Right.
and be here for us and
Right.
primarily be here for you. Yeah.
Now, I'm very grateful for the support from the entire family
Mm-hmm.
because once our parents came up,
Mm-hmm.
you needed more support.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like in a one-bedroom apartment with two parents that have been divorced for over 30 years?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the most time that they've spent in a confined space together.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I'm heavily medicated, so I don't know what's going on.
I wish I was. They were a trip.
What was that experience
They
like?
were a trip because I ain't seen them together since 1992. They were just carrying on. It was one thing that they did. It was something they cracked a joke or something. They were laughing about something. I just thought, dang, I ain't seen y'all act like that since I was like young. Y'all still get along?
Oh, I
Ooh.
mean, granted, we know that they get along, but to be in such a serious space or in a serious situation and be in a confined space,
Oh yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
there is no, hey, I'm gonna walk in the other direction. And mind you, they're cordial. They can get along.
Yeah.
They know how to work well together.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've been divorced for 30 years, so they should be able to be human
And they
at
had
this
to
point
come
and be adults at this
and
point.
they wanted to be present
Right.
because they wanted to honor the vow that they had promised each other to take care of their children, to be there for their children. And they wanted to be present. They wanted to follow through with that vow that they made.
For better or for worse.
And that was worse.
That
I mean,
was
that was worse. It wasn't that worse. That was some worse.
that was so worse.
Some worse.
So
But it got better.
so what was okay? So walk me through. What was there anything that happened? Because again, I'm medicated, so I don't really know.
Uh-huh.
Was there anything significant that happened with when they were there? Like what?
They got on my nerves. Yeah, they got on my nerves.
I know that's
We
right.
just kept doing, I mean, and I know we're all adults and everyone needed certain things, and I was the person driving or whatever. And I didn't mind driving, but after a while, it's like, I need to be by myself.
At any point did you be like, I wish I would go home?
No, it was, I mean, I just wanted there were, when I needed a walk or something like that. We were, uh, Dad and our stepmom, they were able to secure another room for us, so
Right.
that we could have a hotel room outside of the apartment.
Mhm.
So therefore we would take shifts. And I was always going to take a parent to the hotel. And one parent would stay and help take care of you. And that was a great help to me. And then I remember, because I am going to bring this up, I remember there was one
Go ahead.
time, go on, take your sip. I remember this one time
I
you
don't know what you're about to say.
really got on my nerves. I was like,
What did I do?
what did you not do? You said something. No, yeah, this is what you said. I was cooking like I do. I was cooking. And I said, I'm making this or whatever. Do you want this? Do you want this or that? And you said, yeah, I have that, but without a certain ingredient that you didn't eat or whatever.
Probably with onions.
I can't remember. It's way back in my brain. Um, and I that triggered something, and I said, I didn't ask you what you didn't want. I said, or what you want something, but not that. I didn't ask you that. I said, do you want A or B? And you like A prime or something like that. I'm like, uh,
Go ahead, say it. Say what you want to say.
oh,
Say what you want to say.
you got
Go
on my
ahead.
damn nerve. Ooh. And I just remember looking at you and I was ready to take you out. I was like, this is gonna be it. And I had to leave the room. And no, I stayed in the room. And Dad came in the room, and he reminded me of our childhood. Dad was like, "What are y'all fussing about?" Because by that time I was just by this time I was going in. And he said, "What are y'all fussing about?" And I was like, "Dominique said he wanted something like, like he took my joy." Um, and and he was like, like a bear would like, it's okay. And I had to leave. I had to walk out the room. And I had to go do yoga.
I get the namaste.
I had to, oh gosh.
Not namaste and
I
oh.
faced the rising sun and I stretched and I breathed and I was like, until that became,
It shouldn't have took that much.
it did.
It should not have taken that much.
It did. It did.
It was not, I was not that bad. Again, I was not that bad. I know I was not that bad.
But it's okay because when you're going through stuff, you're bad. And it is what it is. You're fine. It's okay now.
That seems like it's not okay, but that's all right. Kind of package that up and put that to the
I'm okay now.
You're okay now.
Yeah. And
That's
I remember he was getting ready to go and I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, you want to stay in a hotel a little longer? Like, that day. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. And I asked him, I was like, was I really that bad? And he was like, yeah, you were that bad.
You was that
I
bad.
was like, okay. Literally like that. Okay. And then he left because I was going to take him to the airport. He was like, you ain't got to take me to the airport. You ain't got to take me to the airport. I was like, oh. And I just went to sleep and I slept like, what's that in my mind? In heavenly peace. It was good sleep.
You needed that, huh?
Oh, did I ever? That gave me joy.
So just,
And it took me a minute. I did come back to the house.
You did.
I did come back to the apartment.
Eventually.
I did.
Eventually. That checkout was at 30.
I came back.
Oh, excuse me, 10.
No, it was later because he requested it.
Oh, okay.
It was later because he thought I needed it.
He knew you needed it. So
Well, thanks, Dad.
So wait, you talked about having to yogi and everything that you needed to do.
Mhm.
What else did you have to do to help maintain your mental health?
Meditate. I spent a lot of time meditating. I had learned to meditate, or had been practicing meditation during that time period before I came up. So it was like press play when I was in your apartment. Writing helped me out tremendously because that gave me the time at night, some me time, so that was cool. And friends, being able to speak with friends and family and having them contact me, them reaching out to me to see if I'm okay and asking about you. It was great. Yeah,
Nice.
that's what helped me get through, to maintain a sense of self so that self could help you.
Well, there was one time you didn't help me.
Well, Yep.
So, growing up,
Mm-hmm.
you tried to kill me
You're
twice.
going way back.
Well, because it's a timeline. So growing up, you tried to kill me twice. You said what? What was that?
Go ahead.
Think one time you tried to take me out with the pillow and smother me.
Ooh.
Yeah, you remember that?
But God is a deliverer.
He's a saver. If you let him save you. So yeah, you tried to take me out then, and then I think another time you tried to kill me. I can't remember exactly what happened, but but I got away. Oh, okay.
So.
So now here I am. I'm 33. I'm sick,
Mm-hmm.
and you are managing all of my medication, and it was bukus and bukus and bukus of medicine.
Yes.
Like I literally had a large Ziploc bag of medicine that I had to take daily.
Yep.
So it was a lot to manage.
Yep.
You and you was okay. So we had to take medicine at 9 a.m.
Mm.
Then I had to take medicine again at 10 a.m.
Ooh.
So the 9 a.m. was to prep me for the 10 a.m. medicine, right?
Ooh.
Cool. And by this time, we are at least, this is after the surgery. This is after going through chemotherapy. This is after all of that. I think, probably like 3 or 4 months in at this point. And we've gotten a routine, right? It was steady.
Tell you what.
You come in at 9 o'clock in the morning and you give me the medicine. And I look at it. I'm like, this don't look particularly right. But, I trust my brother. You know what I mean? My caretaker. He been here for 4 months. He know what he doing. So I take the medicine. Then I go back to sleep. You go back to sleep. Yeah, go ahead and sip. Yeah, uh-huh. Then you come back in at 10. Really? Really? You needed all of that? So you come back in at 10 and you give me the medicine again.
Mhm.
And I look at it, I was like, one of these pills look like the same pill that I just took. But remember, we doing this in the mornings, 2 times in the morning, one at noon. I think I had medicine at 3, then had another medicine at 6, and then one at 9. So we're taking like medicine around the clock. And I'm thinking, maybe I'm envisioning taking this medicine from yesterday, right? So I take the pill. Go back to sleep. About 3 hours later, I said, Jarrod, I can't feel my heartbeat. That is not funny.
And look at
That is not funny.
I can't hear it. Woo.
And you come over, lean over the bed, just like me. You can't feel your heartbeat.
Right. That's all it is. Because you were talking. So what you mean you can't feel your heartbeat?
So you grab my wrist
Mm-hmm.
and you pause.
I ain't feel nothing.
You ain't say nothing. So you touch my neck.
I was like, what is going on?
Still didn't say nothing.
Didn't say a thing.
So then you touch my ankles, because at this point you can touch my legs. The rash is kind of going down. It's not irritable as much. So you touch my ankles to see if you can feel a pulse there. Still don't say nothing. You walk out the room. All I hear is you making a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
You call my doctor.
Yes, I did.
And you said, I think I gave him double high blood pressure medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't feel his pulse.
Mm-mm.
What were you thinking?
I done fucked up now. That was before I called.
Oh, your way to call?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Luckily for you, I was supposed to take that medicine twice that day,
Mm-hmm.
as I had done every other day, one
Yeah.
in the morning and one at night.
Mm-hmm.
So my doctor said, you know what? You're right. You're not gonna feel a pulse. It's gonna be really, really faint.
Mm-hmm.
But just don't give him the second dosage later tonight. Just give him just that one.
You're right. Okay. Yeah.
Um, is there anything you want to say about that? No,
God knows my heart.
but he couldn't feel mine.
Mm. Mm. I, I can't say that. You can say that. But you got a testimony.
No,
You
no,
better come on.
no,
Where around here? Look at
no,
you.
no. I got a test on it because you put me through a test.
I ain't do no test.
Yes, you did.
Mm-mm.
Sitting up here, that's the third time in this lifetime you tried to kill me.
This lifetime. This lifetime?
This one.
Okay.
I don't even know what to say to you about that. But
Thank you, Jesus.
no, I say that to him. I don't say that to you.
No, yeah, that's what you just said. Not to me, you just say thank you. Amen. Hallelujah.
I'm gonna remember that.
Hmm.
I'm gonna remember that. So, out of all of these different things, um, what is your biggest takeaway from being or from having to be a caretaker?
That patience is important, not just for yourself, but it's important for the person you're caring for. It's important to listen, to not just do because it needs to be done, but it's important to listen,
Mm.
and be intentional. Because when you walk into a space, you walk in with that energy. You walk in with um, the energy of a caretaker, the caregiver.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You want to be a part of the healing process or taking care of the person through that process. And for me, it was I wanted to be a part of the healing process. I wanted to not rush you to do something, to not also pretend that I'm not tired,
Mm.
but to not allow the frustration in my being tired to influence the quality that I wanted to offer you in the form of offering you care.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
What?
And through that, I believe, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
What you about to say?
I was about to say, through that, it gave me the opportunity to learn more about you, to understand who you are as a person, not just my younger brother, one of my younger brothers. It gave me the opportunity to learn you as a human being and to learn to respect you and your choices and what you decided that you wanted to do and how you wanted to live your life. There were certain things that you wanted for yourself and that's reflective in your space. And so I remember keeping your space the way that you wanted your space kept because that was a reflection of who you are.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So honoring the work and your purpose for being there, but then also honoring the person that you're ultimately serving, I guess you would kind of say, or being in service to at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I think that is important that we have to identify and recognize for every caretaker and caregiver is the service that they give,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it is in service.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that. I really do appreciate you taking that level of care and not coming in just trying to switch things up because it's better for you.
Mm-hmm.
But you literally were you took the time to be intentional about the way in which you gave care and the way in which you cared for me. And I really do appreciate that.
And I appreciate you for sharing that because you're not just sharing that here, but you also shared it in the process.
Mm.
Yeah, you shared that in the process. And that also showed me something else about you that I didn't know. I didn't think about. You, we think about our family and siblings like You
What
showed
else
me.
they say?
No,
Rich in the afternoon
no.
and in the morning.
Late at night. No, but you showed me that. I was like, okay, he's cool. He's cool.
Mm,
And I like that he's cool. And I like that he likes that I'm cool.
mm. Would you
Yeah.
say that this whole process brought us closer together?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't see you as such a jackass.
Your mom?
Well, your dad.
You was yours first?
Yours. Second. You stupid. So stupid. You dumb. Dumb.
So, any lessons that you learned throughout this whole process or throughout that time? What did you learn? Was there anything that you learned either about yourself or about
Um, there, within myself, I learned, as many of us did, I think, during that time period. But for me specifically, I learned that um, pivoting is okay. Being able to pivot and do something different. And I do believe um, that our loved ones are still with us and being able to watch over us and help guide us along the way. Um, I learned more about our parents because they came back to me and said, thank you. That tore me up when they said thank you because they said thank you. Like mom and dad said thank you because without you, it would have been a different outcome.
right?
Um, yeah. And hearing them tear up as they say thank you and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow. Last shot of wisdom. What's your last shot of wisdom? If you could leave one, or if you could pour out one last shot of wisdom, what would it be?
I would say that regardless of what's happening, and it may look awful, whatever your definition of awful is, as long as you remember that you are kept and well kept, if you can keep some hope, there is light later on. Maybe not there in the moment, but there is light later on.
I'll drink to that.
I would, but I drink all mine.
Guess I'm taking this shot alone then.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.